I'm Rebecca Brand, and I'm using my Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel. I have so many gardens at my house, and they're not all that close to where I have my hose bibs. I had these containers that you have to wind the hose up into, and that was always a lot of work for me, and they didn't look very good either. So it was great to replace it with my Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel. It makes my life so much easier. This is my 100-foot hose, and it goes everywhere I go on this side of my house. My garden is a few hundred feet in each direction, from there all the way over to there. So it's great to get my hose where I need to be in my garden. The hose reel is great, and so is the hose that comes with it, and the attachment to spray. It's got a lot of power for me to reach the plants that I don't really want to walk through my garden to get to, and easy to stop. It has many different settings to choose just the type of water flow you want. I'll talk more about that later, but this gives you a quick sample. Here's the one I installed against the wall of my house. It has a 100-foot hose. I also put one down lower in my garden at a different hose bib that really needed a new hose reel. Old one in the old housing of that hose was just so ugly. This hose reel is for 65 feet of hose, which is perfect for my lower garden. I have a whole lot of garden because I've got this big yard. And as much as I use my irrigation system, there's always spots. It just doesn't get very well, and I need to hand water. With my new Relhost, my retractable garden hose reel, I'm able to quickly get to where I want without fighting the hose. I put my hose close to my flagstone steps that lead down to the garden. It's located on this wall, very close to the spigot. I chose it because it's in the shade, and although it has 6 foot of leader hose to it, this is just a perfect spot for me to wall mount my Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel right here. Now I chose a 100-foot hose for this part of my garden. Let me show you how long that hose is. Here I am using it on the flagstone steps, and here I've laid all 100 feet out so you can get a size of how much that is on this 100-foot hose. It went all the way down to my birch tree, halfway across my huge 1-acre lawn. This long hose is great for all of this hillside. It can reach from end to end of that hillside and halfway through my lawn. And let me just tell you, Relhost puts a high-quality hose into the retractable garden hose reel. Before my Relhost, I had an old hose housing unit. It was looking really tired. The hose in there wasn't very good quality, and I struggled with that. Those were always a pain to have them go back in. Even though I cranked them back in, it just was always a hassle and something I did not like doing. Relhost has made this beautiful retractable garden hose reel that looks great mounted on my house. I put another one over in another part of my garden. This is on the far side of my yard, and I just mounted it up against this railing I had for a walkway up these stairs. This spigot is right underneath it, and it's at a really comfortable height for me to use the hose. I just turn on the spigot and reach for the hose and pull it out. This is a before shot. It looked awful, and it as well was really a hassle to use. Relhost's look and design of the retractable garden hose reel is beautiful as well, right here attached to the railing of my stairway. This is on a sturdy wall, and it's so easy now for me to pull this hose out. Check this out. With hardly any effort, I get the hose pulled out into sections. Once you start the hose, you'll hear some little clicks, because when you want to stop pulling it out, it will stop releasing the hose. You'll hear 2 clicks when you're pulling it out, and as you pull the hose out, you will see a yellow ring. Now that's a warning yellow ring. If you see that yellow warning ring, you should not pull the hose anymore. Then when you want it to retract, slightly pull it. You'll hear it click one time, and then it'll smoothly go right back in to its housing. The nozzle is always in the off position, so to get it on, you just pull back this part of the top of the nozzle, and the water will start to spray in the mode you desire. Now, the Relhost hose has a nozzle it comes with that has 10 modes. Let me show you some examples of how they spray. It's clearly marked on top of the nozzle, all the different modes it has. And to click between the modes, it is so easy. It clicks right into place of the mode you want. And with the icon there, you can see what you're about to get as your stream of water coming out of the nozzle. The modes are angle, center, shower, full, steam, jet, mist, cone, vertical, and flat. Now I'm using it for my garden, but you can imagine how great it would be for car washing, giving your dog a bath, any of your watering needs like I'm doing right here, and also for cleaning. As I'm gardening, I get a lot of dirt on my flagstone steps. It's great just to hose it off and have that water go back into my garden with clean steps before me. I want to point out that both of my hoses are located in a shady spot. That way, it's not going to get a lot of sun rays that are going to deteriorate any of the materials of the housing or the hose in it. That was an important point. It'll have a longer life because it's located in the shade. Now this hose is 65 feet because it's at the end of my garden. 65 feet was just fine for the end of my yard. Let me show you me retracting that hose. You just pull it and it goes in just like that. Ready for next time. It was really easy to install. Let me show you how I put it on the wall of my house. This wall is stucco. It can go on wood, stucco, many different surfaces. You will need a few simple tools for this process. I've laid mine out on the tray for you. You will need a measuring tape. I'm using a power drill. I'm using a Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm using a wrench. Now those are my tools. Relhost gives you a leveler with the hose reel, and Relhost also gives you the screws that you will need. The mounting bracket has 4 holes with which you're going to be screwing into the wall. You can use that itself, but I love that they gave me this template. This made it really easy. And on the template, it shows you each of the 4 holes you'll be drilling. It is the exact same size as the mounting bracket. In this step, you're going to need your measuring tape. It's recommended that your hose be only 3 feet above the hose bib, and the reason is you need the water pressure. From the bottom of my house wall, I measured up 3 feet. I just marked it with some blue tape, and onto the wall, I taped my template. And to make sure it wasn't slanted one way or the other, I brought out my level to check. And I checked it a number of different ways to make sure it was correct and level. It's recommended to only drill 2 inches. My drill bit was more like 3 inches. So with my measuring tape, I put a piece of blue tape to be my guide to not go too deep. I wrapped it around the drill and I checked it for the length. And in goes the drill to all the 4 targets on that template. I took off the template to then place in the anchor plugs. Some people can just push them in with their thumbs, but I used a hammer. Press them in so they're flush with your wall. I did that on all 4 of the holes. And now it's time to put the screw in with the washer in order to attach the mounting bracket. I slipped the washer onto the screw, and using my Phillips head screwdriver, I attached all 4 of the screws onto the mounting bracket securely into the wall. On the back of the hose reel is a metal column that fits right into the mounting bracket. It was so easy to slip it right in. It's a secure, strong fit. And the high quality way Relhost has designed this part of the hose reel so it easily moves side to side. And lastly, you attach the leader hose to your water source. It fits snugly with the fittings, and I used a wrench to make sure it was on securely. I didn't want water to leak. When you first get your Relhost, and after you've installed your Relhost, there's a stop ball. Now this stop ball location can be adjusted, and that's to make sure your hose is always within the reach that you wish. No tool is needed. You just pull out the hose to the length you want, and then you open the latch on the stop ball and move it to where you want it. Just like this. And you relatch the ball. So attach your spray gun right to your hose just by twisting it around till you get a tight fit. Now doesn't that just look great? Securely fastened to the wall of my house, all ready for me to use. What a great addition to my gardening. When you order your Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel, it comes right to your door. I got 2, the 100 length hose and the 65 length hose. Here are the 2 boxes. I'm going to focus on the 100 foot hose though during this unboxing because it's larger. I put the box on my counter, and here are all sides of the box. It's very well designed, and this would make a great gift for another homeowner friend you have that needs a new hose. So I open the box, and the first thing you see is the installation directions. And your Relhost Retractable Garden Hose is securely in its box underneath the styrofoam packing. I took everything out of the box and I laid it on my kitchen counter for you to see. We see the directions on the left. We see the screws to install it in the center. The spray gun nozzle on the right, well packaged so it wouldn't get damaged during shipping. The mounting bracket on the far right of the screen. We see the leader hose on the exterior coming out, but inside it has the 100 foot hose wound up already. This is a side of the Relhost Retractable Garden Hose, and we see on the top of it is a metal shaft that's going to fit into the wall mount. Here's a close-up of the lead hose. I wanted to show you how high quality it is. It's not a cheap piece of plastic. It's something that's very strong and will last. That's not going to break. Now here is a logo, but inside that, I thought it was interesting to see how it all fits together and how the lead hose is attached to the inner garden hose. Here's the front of it with the lead hose coming out, and we can see the garden hose inside. And here is the back of it where it's going to attach to your house or your post, however you want to mount it in your garden. Here's a close-up of the mounting bracket. I'm going to flip that over so you can see this is a part that's going to touch your post or your wall. And here's a close-up of the directions. You can see how easy it is to read. The illustrations are excellent, and it's very simple. Here's the inside of it. It is a very easy installation. Every step is simple. It also has the operating directions. They put the anchor plugs, the washers, and the screws in one package all together. I lay them out so you can see they're all very high quality pieces. Here's a close-up of the spray gun or the nozzle. Here are all sides of it, and here I am showing how nice the icons are so you can decide which of the sprays you wish to use. They are simple and explanative, easy to know what you're going to get with each of the icons. And here I am twisting it from one to the next. It clicks right in place. I did that a number of times so you could see that. Looking right into the nozzle, you can see where the water will be directed and the shape of the plastic filter it will come out of to create the shape you want of the water flow. Brilliant design to get 10 different water flows out of this one spray nozzle gun. Now on the side of it is a mechanism to turn it on or off. It's very intuitive. You pull it back for on and close it up for off. It is such a pleasure to use my new retractable garden hose reel from Relhost all over my garden. It's really made a difference on the joy of my experience of spending outside time with nature and with all the plants I need to tend to. I love being outside in my garden, and I really like watering my plants. The whole thing is very meditative for me. So this time in my life is better than it's ever been with my Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel. This Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel is just amazing. It makes gardening so I'm spending more time having the fun of it rather than hassling with putting away hoses and bringing them out, which can be so heavy. Click the link below to get your Relhost Retractable Garden Hose Reel. I'm Rebecca Brand. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell to get notified of my next video. And let's keep making great recipes in life. And today's recipe is for a beautiful garden. Spring is coming, and I can't wait for my garden to be in full bloom. See you next time. I've got some dirt to hose down on these stairs. It's looking a little messy. If you like this video, here's some over there, including more gardening videos. Just click.